Okay, Ty, I have pushed the live stream and made you co-host again.
Okay, I'm
Sorry.
you as co-host now,
Yeah, thank you so much.
and I see the waiting room is enabled. Good. Okay, cool. Looks like we're ready to go.
Yeah, actually, this class is for Anthony, but his system is not updated right now, so I have to jump in.
Okay. Oh, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing well. How are you this morning?
Oh, it's bright and early for me.
Me too.
I'm still trying to wake up.
Hi, Josefina. How are you?
I'm
Is it,
fine. You?
is it Josefina or Josephina?
Josefina.
Josefina. Okay.
Spanish name.
Right, right.
There's some more coming in from the waiting room. Well, let's see. Hi, we got Josephine. We've got
Hello.
Jean. Hi, Jean, Michelle. Oh, hi, Michelle. I know Michelle.
Hello. How are
Kate,
you?
and Gretchen and Audrey and Susan and Josefina. See, I got it right that time. I learned.
That's right.
Yeah, I am educatable. So welcome everybody to Tai Chi. Why it is great for seniors. This is basically, well, I'll get into the slides and I'll talk about, this is basically an introductory course class that you take before you take the Tai Chi for beginners. So if you haven't had this yet and you've been in the beginners class, that's fine because there's some information here that I don't cover in the beginners. So glad you're here. Or if you're here just for the first time to get ready to come to beginners, that's great too. So let me get some slides pulled up and we'll talk a little bit. And we are going to be doing just a little bit of movement today as an introduction. So, but we need to talk about a couple of things first. I just have to find my slide deck and that should do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. Why is Tai Chi so great for seniors? So many reasons, so many reasons. First of all of us can do it. It's well within our reach. Oh, let me just get, I'm going to get ahead of myself. My name is Tai, and I'm going to be your guide today for Tai Chi, an introduction, why it's great for seniors. I live in Florida in the US, just outside of Orlando, Florida. I have an education in biology and psychology and computer science, and a ton of experience working in federal agencies with databases and project management, IT management, and consulting. I became a consultant for hospitals, advising them on how to better use their computer system, how to use their data better, how to mine it better. I taught a lot of classes, which during that time, I learned how much I really enjoy teaching and sharing what I do know. I'm retired now. And so I spend my time teaching mindful practices, mindful movement practices primarily, but I also teach some non-movement practices in meditation and mindfulness. But I bring mindfulness into all of my movement sessions. So Tai Chi and Kundalini Yoga, I bring in the mindful aspect quite heavily. I'm a stress survivor. Back in the 80s, I had stress at work so bad that I ended up in the hospital with an option that I may not survive. And I had to make a decision right then. If I survive, or when I did survive, I made the decision that I was going to stop this stress cycle. I was not going to keep giving in to striving and stressing over things that weren't worth stressing me, including a chief financial officer that I worked for that was causing most of it. I stopped it. And one of the ways I did that was I started meditating. thanks to my MD who sent me for a technical form of meditation called biofeedback. I was trained in it. And from there, I started studying every type of meditation. And then I got into meditative movement. And along the way, I got drawn into Tai Chi, because Tai Chi is a gentle meditative movement practice. The need for working on my balance issues was also a factor, because I suffer from peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage in my feet, and it causes balance issues. So the Tai Chi not only helps me calm down in general, it helps me understand and learn more about my body and what the heck is going on and what signals are happening to deal better with my peripheral neuropathy and maintain balance, even with the peripheral neuropathy. So anyone who suffers from that ailment, or arthritis, or osteoporosis, or stress, I highly recommend Tai Chi. Well, in general, it's good to recommend it to everybody because it's beneficial to everybody. So we're on Get Setup, getsetup.io. Now, this is a great platform because it brings seniors together to learn from each other. So you learn from me, I learn from you. Ideally, in a class like Tai Chi, you have your camera on so I can see what you're doing, because I need that feedback. When I see you reacting to what I'm saying, it helps me decide what to say next. Do we go faster? Do we go slower? Do we repeat something? But if you don't want to turn on your camera, that's fine. I'm just glad you're here. But those of you who do turn on your cameras, you really do help me guide the class. So if you're comfortable, please turn on the camera and let me see what you're doing. There is a recording of the class. I blanked out on the name of our TA today, but I'm so glad he's here. So hang on a minute. Let me get the name. Brandon. I am so sorry, Brandon. I forgot the name. Brandon is with us today as TA. And if you have any technical questions, feel free to get into chat and ask Brandon, especially if you had any trouble with Zoom or something getting on. And he'll do his best to help you. He'll be with us today in class, arranging the recording. And then after class, if you want a copy of the recording so you can practice between sessions, just email help, HELP at getsetup.io, and that'll be echoed again later. If you didn't make it in through registering because the class did book up and you made it in through live stream, I'm really glad you made the effort to come in that way. But the best way in the future is if you can get registered and come into the class and be interactive. So take a look at that schedule and see if you can find some sessions of Tai Chi for beginner where you can get registered. Get Setup is not paid to promote any specific products. We are not advertising anything. Now, today's agenda, we're going to talk about what is Tai Chi, the styles or the schools of Tai Chi, just a little brief history just to kind of bring you up to speed. What are the components of Tai Chi? More important, what are the benefits? Why is it great for seniors? And just what the heck is in a Tai Chi if you've never in a Tai Chi class. So that's why we're going to do a little bit of movement to kind of give you an idea of what you'll be doing in a typical class. Okay, let's talk history a little bit. Tai Chi is several thousand years old, which means there's a lot of experience that's been invested into promoting and developing Tai Chi as a movement practice. But it was formalized in the late 13th century, and I guess you would call it documented, because normally it was handed down from master to student, but they started documenting it around the 13th century and formalizing the structure. The whole concept of Tai Chi is based on balance in nature, balance in life. If you've ever heard the terms yin and yang, yin is soft, yang is hard, yin is slow, yang is fast, everything is in balance. And that is the whole concept of Tai Chi, is being in balance. It's an effective movement practice. It helps us with our mind, our body, and syncing the mind and body. Before Tai Chi came something called Qigong, and maybe you've taken a Qigong class here at Get Set Up or elsewhere. Qigong are different movement forms that are done for therapeutic reasons. Well, Tai Chi takes a bunch of those forms and tied them together into a sequence and make it flowing. So it really is based on Qigong. Um, both of them are based on energy movements to make the body healthier. I will advise you there is a great depth of knowledge and skill in Tai Chi, but that doesn't mean it's not easy to learn, because it is. And it's quick to start delivering its health benefits. I mean, you're going to take away something today that you can practice between classes that will make you feel better. But the practice of Tai Chi has so much depth that you never stop learning more about what you're doing. Every time you do it, you can go deeper and deeper, and it is addictive. It can become a lifetime journey, but this is one of those really good addictions. Now, multiple styles, multiple schools, but they all share the basic same principles. Mindfulness and balance, integrating the mind with the body. Balance, body alignment. Awareness of the body and the movement, creating a fluidity of movement. Becoming more aware of your breath. There's that meditation and mindfulness aspect. Focus. You can't do Tai Chi without a good focus. It starts out with focusing on learning the mechanics. And then once those mechanics become rote memory with your mind, body doing it without you thinking, you start focusing on what the heck my body's doing. What am I feeling? Where is my breath flowing? Where is the energy in my body creating sensations? Am I feeling the skin on my hands? Can I feel the sensation in my shoulders? Are my palms warming? You never run out of the depth of focus that you can develop in Tai Chi. Now, the practice of Tai Chi can be practiced alone, or you can do it with other people. And some people actually consider it an aerobic exercise. I imagine it could be. I practice it very slowly and mindfully, which is the way I was taught Tai Chi should be practiced. So I don't see it as an aerobic exercise, though some people may find it such, but it does improve flexibility, balance, coordination, and even strength. So there are some of those benefits: flexibility, balance, coordination, and strength. All the things as seniors that we need to maintain and grow. But it also has meditative qualities that help you deal better with stress. You learn to clear your mind while performing movements at a very slow pace. It's a moving meditation. Most people practice for an average of about 15 minutes. In my beginner's class, I ask you to try to practice 5 minutes a day between sessions. But some people choose not to practice between sessions, and that's fine too. If you just want to come in and follow me each time, that's fine. People do it all the time. But if you will choose to create a practice each day of 5 minutes, it'll make a big difference. Excuse me, my allergies are attacking. Now, there's several main schools. There's many more than these 5, but there's 5 main schools of Tai Chi. The earliest one is Chen, C-H-E-N. It's from the Ming Dynasty era of China. And it's based on contrasting and complementary movements. There's that yin yang again: slow versus fast, soft versus hard, fast, low kicks and jumps. We're not going to be doing any of those. We will not be practicing any Chen in these classes. It promotes very low stances where you're basically squatting, and powerful explosive movements with the hand and feet. It's actually known for being difficult. It's physically demanding, and it's the closest form of Tai Chi to a martial art. This is not for seniors, not for me, and I don't study it, and I won't be teaching it. My studies start with Yang. Now, Yang was created in the early 1900s, and it was basically created by someone who studied in the Qin lineage. And Yang decided that it would be best to modify Tai Chi Qin so that more people could practice it, bring it to a bigger audience. It has higher stances. You don't squat. Gentle, slow, expansive movements, widening the arms, making it suitable and available to more people. None of those explosive powered jumps or stomps. Later, a version called Hao, H-A-O. It's quick, complicated movements. And Wu, similar to Yang, but the postures are more upright and uses leaning. Now, the last one that's appeared is the Sung school, S-U-N. The Sung style was developed with similar basic principles because they all share, but with different features and characteristics. It's more designed for seniors. It has higher stances. We don't squat. We have soft knees and we kind of bounce a little bit, but we don't squat. Makes it easier to learn and definitely easier to practice. Gentle, flowing, continuous movements. It is a constant movement practice, except for when you come back to pause in your initial form, you stay moving. It's meditative. Maybe not day one when you start learning, like with me today, it won't be meditative because you have to get through the learning curve, but it will become meditative if you practice. It doesn't take a lot of space. Isn't that nice? It's a practice or a sport or however you want to look at it that you can do in very small space. But Sung style Tai Chi has so much depth that there's no end to exploring it. As I said earlier, you can go deeper and deeper with each practice, and every practice is different. Even with the simplest of forms, you only need to know one form to practice Tai Chi. So just what the heck can Tai Chi do for me? Well, it's going to help us with posture. We're going to learn to stand up straighter. By doing so, it's going to put less wear and tear on the joints. We're going to open up more lung space. You know what that leads to? More oxygen, healthier. We're going to improve our balance, which helps us prevent falls. We're going to improve concentration. Now, I know every year I get older and my concentration seems to be sort of affected every year. And I come up with mental exercises that I do every day to help me keep my brain active. But I use my Tai Chi to maintain a focus and my meditation. You're going to develop or promote a deeper relaxation. With Tai Chi, you start learning more about your body and how to relax it. And you're triggering something called the relaxation response. And when you learn how to actually trigger that response, you can go deeper and deeper in your relaxation. And that in itself handles stress better. Because in our culture, we have the stress response so much in everyday life, but we've gotten away from time in between the stress response for the relaxation response to counteract it, give us that antidote to stress. By learning how to initiate your relaxation response, you've actually started the antidote, the balance to stress. Practicing your Tai Chi deals with stress. You will deal with stress better. Overall, you're going to improve your spirit. You're going to have a better mood. You're going to be happier. You're going to enjoy yourself. It's a fun process it's a fun practice. And overall, you're going to increase your life energy. You'll hear me talking about Chi, C-H-I. It's the Chi in Tai Chi, meaning life energy. Tai Chi, we're moving life energy. Well, by moving it, you increase it. You get healthier and your energy gets stronger. So who might want to practice Tai Chi? Well, anybody with arthritis. I have arthritis in my knuckles. Tai Chi is great because I'm constantly bending my fingers in the practice. Peripheral neuropathy. I'm first in line to tell you it helps with peripheral neuropathy. Will it fix it? No. But will it help you deal with it? Yes. Will it help with balance issues? Oh, definitely. The more you do Tai Chi, the more you become aware of your body and where it is in space. And if you start to fall, you're more likely to catch yourself, or maybe you won't even start to fall. And with peripheral neuropathy, I have the possibility of falling very easily. But I have In the last decade, I have taken 2 pretty severe falls because I slid on something, and neither time did I need medical treatment because I was able to maneuver my body during the fall because it felt like I was falling in slow motion. I don't know that that's normal for reaction, but in my fall, I was actually thinking, I'm falling. Where is my body? And I was able to roll to where I did not hit my head and didn't hit any hands. And seriously, I walked away from both falls without a bit of energy, just a little, injury, just a little bit of soreness. You get more flexible, and maybe that adds to the fall issue that I'm describing. I'm not sure, but I'm far more flexible now than I was 10 years ago. If you're stressed, come join me in Tai Chi. It's a great way to get de-stressed. Are you suffering from a lack of focus? Well, come focus with us in Tai Chi. Come meditate with us. If you're lethargic and you need to build energy, come join us in Tai Chi. It will help you build energy. It doesn't fix any problem, but it helps with so many problems. The objectives of Tai Chi, well, I've kind of iterated these several times. It's basically to help us integrate the mind and body, bring them to where they're working better together. How many times has your body been doing something and later you thought, I don't even remember doing that because your mind was somewhere else and your body was acting on autopilot. Well, with Tai Chi, we learn to keep that mind and body in sync, improve the balance. We're working on our posture and body awareness, decrease the effects of stress, slow down. That I haven't mentioned too much, but in Tai Chi, we start slowing down. And by slowing down, we start experiencing in the moment more. And when you experience life in the moment, you enjoy life in the moment and you enjoy life more fully. You don't think later as often as, gee, I don't even know what I did earlier because you were moving mindlessly. So we move mindfully and we slow down and we enjoy life. What a metaphor. Tai Chi is a metaphor for life. And overall, we get healthier, get much, much healthier because the body works more efficiently. There's things in the body that don't even work if you don't move. And the gentle movements in Tai Chi will get those parts of the body, those organs, those glands, those systems moving. And you actually enjoy doing it. How many therapeutic treatments are fun to do? Well, I call this a therapeutic treatment, and it's fun to do. You can expect to feel better after class. You can expect to have an improved mood. Maybe you'll have some minor soreness, especially the first few times you do it when you're not as used to moving those parts of your body, but it shouldn't be pain and it should go away quickly. If you feel any pain during class, stop immediately. You don't want injury. If after class your soreness, you would say, goes all the way into pain, then next class back off a little because there's a difference between building and growing stronger and injuring. And we don't want to injure. We want to build and grow together. Your joints should be warm and challenged, but they should never get injured. You should actually look forward to the next class. So after this class, even as short as the movement's going to be, hopefully you're going to look forward and run out and schedule your Tai Chi for Beginners class. You should feel like you're learning and progressing. And if you choose to practice between sessions, between classes, that's what you'll experience. In class, if you just practice with me in class, you'll learn and progress, but a little slower. Maybe you'll feel like the class went too fast. Maybe you'll feel like the class went too slowly. Maybe you'll feel like it went just right because every class feels differently. Sometimes I feel like I'm racing to get the information in. Sometimes it feels like I'm just flowing slowly through the class with you. So each class just feels a little differently. Don't panic if a class feels rush and fast. Just sign up for the next class and it'll probably go a little slower. When you've got so many people attending the class, it's really hard to find a happy medium. So sometimes you will feel it slow or fast. Okay, listen to your body. Actually, let me put on top, listen to your doctor. Whatever your doctor has told you not to do, don't do it in Tai Chi. If he's told you not to stand longer than 5 minutes, then honor that rule first. If he's told you to be careful of being lightheaded, honor that rule. After you follow all your doctor's rules, then you listen to your body and you become aware of all the sensations and the feelings happening inside of you. And if you feel like you're overdoing it, back off. But over time, you're going to really start to focus your attention on all the subtleties, all those little things going on with your muscles, ligaments, bones, and organs. You become much more sensitive to what your body's doing. Honor all your limits. I think I've said that already. Honor your doctor's limits, honor limits that you recognize. Focus on the flowing movements. Practice gentleness with your knees. I'm going to talk about soft knees repeatedly. That does not mean to squat. You want to use your knees in class, but you want to use them within your limit. So like if your knees are getting sore, sit down. Supports healing and strengthening. Our flowing movements are gentle on our body, but they support change. They support growth. Meditation and breathing and visualization. So choose your best practice to meet your needs. Tai Chi is all of this: meditation, breathing, visualization, movement. We have guidelines in Tai Chi, 8 major ones: mindfulness, slow movement, postural alignment, weight separation, there's that balance, breath awareness, integrated movement, active relaxation. I love that dichotomy in that word, and I'll talk about that. Mind-body principles. Let me point out, in these guidelines, in each class, I take one of these and talk about it at the first of class so that we can try to bring it into that day's practice. So I will be going over these 8 repeatedly with you guys. The agenda for the intro is we're going to study 3 forms today. Yoga has postures or asanas. Tai Chi has forms. The practice of Tai Chi is a flowing movement through a series of energy moving forms. Think of one form as one Qigong exercise. And if you haven't taken Qigong, that means nothing, but that's okay. Just think of each movement as one exercise. And we're going to string it together into a flowing movement. Today, to kind of get you a basis, there's several introductory forms that we do at the start of every class before we get into the main sequence that we're studying. So today we're going to talk about and demo Wuji, commencement form, and the open and close form. This is going to give you a taste of what we do in class. So let me stop the share, and I'm going to start some music. Is that music loud enough or not, or too loud? Or give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. So we're good? Okay, good, good. Because I don't hear it at the level you hear it. Okay, let's, I'm going to spotlight me so that you see me front and center. Now, you can practice standing, you can practice seated, or you can practice standing. Let me change cameras. You can practice standing with a chair or a wall nearby. Since I have balance issues, I will often just have my chair nearby in case I need to touch it. But here in this practice room, I have this wall behind me, and I have to back up quite a bit for you to see me. So you might see me practicing and just touching the wall for balance. So use whatever tool works for you to help maintain your balance. And the first rule is to be safe. You don't have to be perfect in Tai Chi. As long as you're moving in the direction of the form and you're not doing something unsafe, you're good in your Tai Chi practice. So keep that in mind. You don't have to be perfect. I have on tennis shoes. I'm going to change. Tennis shoes are great for this. I'm not saying they're not, but I happen to have what are called Tai Chi shoes. They cost me $12 on Amazon 8 years ago, and they're still in great shape. So if you practice with me for quite some time, maybe you want to invest in some Tai Chi shoes. If not, I recommend tennis shoes. Some people practice barefooted. I don't recommend that. It wouldn't work for me, and I don't recommend it to other people. But you gauge the safety of you being barefoot. If you're barefoot and you feel stable, that's a decision you can make. I just don't recommend it. So our first form, and probably the most important form in Tai Chi, is called universal posture. It has a cute little nickname called Wuji, W-U-J-I, Wuji. So I tend to call it Wuji because that universal posture has so many syllables, I get garbled. So I will use the phrase, find your Wuji. And that means stand tall or sit tall. If you're in a chair, just sit tall. Stretch your head to the sky as though you got a rope right there tied to your crown, and you can lift your whole body by pulling that rope, stretching your spine. That actually feels good. You're fighting gravity. And once you stretch your spine, tuck your chin just a little bit, because that'll straighten your neck vertebra. I mean, like tuck a 1/4 inch. Then take your tailbone and just drop your tailbone maybe 1/3 of an inch. And what's going to happen is when you drop your tailbone, you're going to pivot your pelvis just a little, and you're going to soften your knees. So you don't squat, no squatting, but just soften the knees a little, just a little bounce. So stand tall, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, soften your knees, relax your neck and shoulders. That's where we carry so much tension. So let those shoulders relax and let your arms just sort of hang there comfortably. Now, direct your breath down to your belly, not your chest, but direct your breath to the belly. If you put your hand on your belly button as you inhale, you should be able to feel your belly button pushing out. And as you exhale, feel the belly button coming in. Use a natural breath, but use a slow breath. Don't force anything. That's Wuji. It sounds complicated, but you get so used to doing it, you stop thinking about it. Now, your feet should be hip width apart, or if you need a little bit more space for stability like I do, mine are usually shoulder width apart. You choose which one works for you. But you find your Wuji, and some people will actually start their practice by just being in Wuji a minute or two and breathing, sort of a short meditation. If you have time, I highly recommend it. For a 5-minute practice, I plan 10 minutes so I can do a little breath meditation, do my 5-minute practice, and, be about my business. So I usually put a little extra time at the first and end for meditation. So this is your Wuji, your first form. We do this in every class. We use it often in class. Now, at the start of a sequence, like when we're going to do a Sung Style 12, which is what I'm currently teaching in beginner's class, that's 12 forms, and we do them both directions. So 12 becomes 24 forms. But to start off that sequence, we do a commencement form. So we do it one time to start an entire sequence. Commencement form, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me doing it more clearly. It has an upper body part and it has a foot part. The upper body part is rotating your shoulders. Your hands come up to about chest level. And then you drop the hands down. Pretty simple. Now your elbows should be soft, slightly bent. Your wrists should be soft and slightly bent. Your hands should be soft. Inhale up in commencement. And exhale down. Now, as you inhale and bring the hands up, straighten your legs just a little. As you exhale and bring the hands down, go back into those soft knees. It's a nice sinking feeling, very relaxing. So inhale up and exhale down. This is also called waving hands in some other Tai Chi sequences. So to finish the commencement form, bring the hands up. And when the hands come down, don't let them drop all the way. Let them come down and then start pulling toward your belly button. Have right there toward that energy center at the belly button. And then the hands come up the chest. Nice little U-shaped. Let's do that again. Come to your Wuji. Commencement form is rotate at the shoulders. Everything's soft. Exhale. You draw the letter U down toward your belly button and up the chest. Nice. One more time. Inhale. Draw the U. Sink in the knees. Bring the hands up the chest. And we're going to continue the arms by extending them back out. Bend the elbows and bring it back in. That's the upper body part of commencement form. So let's do that again. Find your Wuji. Inhale in commencement. Drop the hands as you exhale. Hands come up the chest. They reach forward. Now you go about 70% of your reach. You don't reach all the way out. Elbows bend and you bring the hands back to the chest center. Beautiful. Let's add some footwork. So ignore the arms for a minute. Find your Wuji. And I want you to just do a little exercise with me. Bring your weight to 1 foot. You just kind of lean until your weight's all on 1 foot. Now, do the other foot. Lean over the other foot. Notice how your weight is shifting left and right. I like to imagine that there's an invisible line right here running down through my belly button. And that line is moving because it's my center of gravity line. So as I bring the weight to 1 foot, that line goes over and goes through that knee because that's where my center of gravity is pointing down. Then I come back to the other. Plus, it just feels good to do this. So my center of gravity is there. So start noticing during the entire practice where your center of gravity is, because that helps you know where your balance is. It lets you know what you can do safely next. Because when your weight is fully, I'm going to put my weight fully on my right foot. That's this one for me. It might look like my left to you. Put it on my right foot. When my weight is fully, that little gray line is going down through that kneecap and my weight is on this leg, I can pick up that left foot safely and put it down. That's not unsafe. I'm not losing my balance at all because I've got my weight on the right foot. I can actually lift it, put the leg out and put the heel down, and then bring my weight to the left foot, and then bring the right foot, which has the weight taken off of it, to come join it. I took a safe step. Let's go back to Wuji and do that again. Bring the weight to the right foot, safely lift that left foot and just put the heel down. Very small step. Foot flat on the floor. Your weight's moving to the left foot. When the weight is heavily on the left foot, bring the right to join it. You can actually practice this. You could just walk across a room doing safe steps. This is a variation of something called Tai Chi walk. It's not quite Tai Chi walk, but it's a good practice, a good exercise. You'll start noticing the sensation of weight separation, weight movement, balance. It's literally balance. You'll start noticing more about where the balance in the body is. I knew that I was starting to get this when one day in my initial training, I was standing at the sink doing something and I was going back and forth, feeling my weight shift left foot, right foot while I was working at the sink. And I thought, hey, maybe I am paying attention to Tai Chi. So you start unconsciously noticing where your weight is. And I think that's where the fall prevention can actually come from. So let's get back to our commencement form. Stand tall in Muji, soften your knees, soften your shoulders. Bring your weight to your right foot. Step out with your left. Take one small step, very small step. Okay, that is the footwork for commencement. So let's add the arms. We'll start commencement by rotating the shoulders. Exhale and the hands come down toward your belly button. Now here's where the feet start getting involved. As the hands come up the chest, bring your weight to the right foot. So by the time the hands are at chest level, your weight is firmly on the right foot, and you step out with that left foot, heel toe. As you bring the weight to the left foot, reach forward. Bring the right foot to join the left, elbows down. That's commencement. I'm gonna face you so I can watch you do it this time. So find your wuji. Commence. Rotate the shoulders. Draw that letter U. As the hands come up the chest, put your weight on the right foot. Step out with the left and reach forward. Let that right foot join the left and the elbows come down. Open. Oh, we haven't done that yet. Sorry. I'm jumping the gun, going into the next form. Let's do that again. Find your wuji, step back. Take a nice breath in your wuji with me. Inhale and exhale. And we'll commence. Rotate the shoulders. Allow the hands to drop. Draw that U. Weight on the right foot. Step out with the left. Reach forward. Bring the right foot to join the left and elbows down. Open. I keep trying to go to the next one. Sorry. One little nuance of the commencement form is I talk about the arms being soft. They're so soft that your hands actually kind of hang down a little. Let me get it against my dark shirt. No, I can't really do it, can I? Okay, I'm gonna have to paint this wall dark. As the hands come up, elbow is soft, the wrist is soft, and your hand sort of dangles, just dangles down. And when you get up to chest level, the hands sort of keep going. They kind of go a little higher than the wrist. And then down. There's a little flare. So it's like dangling hands. Hands keep going a little higher and then they come down. Just a little flare in the movement. If you don't do it, don't worry about it. It's just a little extra thing. It feels good. And we're doing Sung style Tai Chi, and this little flare with movements like that are very distinctively Sung style. Okay. One more form I want to detail today, and it's called the open close. Now, while we're doing that big long sequence I keep talking about in beginners, between each subsequence, we do something called an open close. And the nice thing about open close is we can have a class where I just teach you one of the subsequences, and we start with an open close and we end with an open close. And that's just kind of a separator. You know, it's kind of like a conjunction in a sentence in grammar. Boy, goes way back. But it's a separator. Just think of it as a separator, like a post to fence pieces. Like you got a fence panel and a post. Well, that's a subsequence of your whole fence that runs along the yard, and the post is the open and close. So for open and close, your hands are at heart center and they're soft. It's as though you're holding a ball, like a volleyball. Boy, I tell you, I cannot get the color there. The fingers are kind of soft and rounded as though you're holding a ball right here at chest level. And the open part is you separate the hands an inch or two, and then you close the hands. Now that doesn't seem like much, but what's going on is you want to visualize that between those hands, there's energy flowing from finger to finger and from palm to palm. So when you're separating, you're actually tugging at that energy like taffy. It's like open, pull the energy, close, let the energy collapse a little. I inhale and open, and I exhale and close. I stretch my legs a little on the inhale, open, and I sink in the knees on the close, exhale. The exhale or the close takes me right back to my Wuji. Inhale and exhale. That's open and close. Let's do our sequence. We're going to find our Wuji. We'll end our little 3 sequence. We'll add open and close right at the end of commencement. So find your Wuji. Commence, roll up. Little flare in the hands if you want to, and then bring the hands down toward the belly button. When the hands get to the belly button, you start bringing the weight to the right foot as the hands come up the chest. Step out with that left foot and reach forward. Bring the right foot to join the left. Bring the elbows down. And we open and close. Let me give you a brief demonstration of a couple of the subsequences that we're learning in beginner right now. So if you just want to watch, I'm going to, and it's going to be kind of quick to squeeze in the time, but I'm doing my commencement. This is my open and close. Now I'm going to do something called a single whip. Opening the curtain, waving hands in the clouds. Here's that open and close again. That was a subsequence. Now we're going to do brush the knee subsequence. Brush the knee to the left. Play the lute. Parry. Parry. Punch. Block. Push the mountain. And open and close. And then you can single whip to the left. This is the reverse of what I did earlier. Brush the knee right, which is the reverse of brush the knee left I did earlier. Punch, block, push the mountain, open and close. And if you're extending your practice, you just continue on with another subsequence. Go as long as you want to. And then there's even more to that. Those are just happening to be the 4 subsequences I'm teaching right now. Let's come seated. Okay. So what's next? Well, you got to come to the beginner's class as often as you can. You don't need to come back to Why It's Great for Seniors again unless you want to go through these introductory forms in detail. In the beginner's class, I don't really go into too much detail with commencement. We just do it and keep going. I'm trying to break it up to get better use of the classes. So if you want to go through commencement form in detail again, come back and do this class. Otherwise, just start doing the beginner class as often as you can. The forms that I just demoed to you are taught and practiced in each class, but they're taught in pieces so that you don't have to learn the whole thing at one time. As I said earlier, if you will do a 5-minute practice each day, I recommend right before you go to bed or right after awakening. I like doing it in the evening personally. And if you miss a day, no big deal. Just come back to your routine practice as soon as you can. You're wanting to build a mind body connection there with these movements so that they're not so mechanical. Because at first, you're going to be so focused on learning the mechanics, like what the heck is Tai doing? What am I supposed to do next? That you're not going to be flowing. You're going to be studying. But if you practice, all of a sudden you stop thinking so much about the mechanics, and then you can start thinking about the depth of your movements. Let's see. Currently, I've got Tai Chi for beginners, which is exactly what I talked about today. Um, I teach 3 to 6 forms in each class, typically 6 forms. We usually make it through 6. And together that makes up the Sung style 12, or if you count the reverses left, right, it's the Sung style 24. And I also reiterate major concepts of Tai Chi so that over time we kind of start catching on more to the concepts. But so you have to attend multiple classes because you will need what you learn in the various classes so that you can put them together and combine it into a longer flow. There's no way we can squeeze 24 forms into one class. So you learn it in pieces. I also teach something called Tai Chi Shibashi. Maybe you don't want to study and learn and practice, and maybe you just want to do Tai Chi. Well, I'd recommend, if that's the case, maybe Tai Chi Shibashi would be more of your interest, because in Tai Chi Shibashi, I will lead you through a set. There's multiple sets, but I will lead you through one of the sets of 18 movements plus warm-ups that are therapeutic exercises. They're not as flowing, but they are sequenced. And all you have to do is follow me each time. I could actually lead you through it without talking. You could just see me doing it and do it. There's no need to memorize. You just follow me. But over time, you start kind of picking up the exercises. And just as soon as you see me going into one, you just do it. If you attend often enough, it's a great practice to do every day. It's very therapeutic. If you've ever gone by a park, usually in major cities, it happens, and you see 100 or 200 or even 300 people out there moving together or moving in 2 or 3 different sequences. That's usually Shibashi, or at least some form of Tai Chi or Qigong. It happens a lot in Asian communities in big cities. In my city here, that's not that big, Orlando, we even have a small group on Saturday mornings that do it. If you happen to be in Chicago or San Francisco or New York, you may see hundreds out practicing. It's a way to stay limber, stay flexible, stay healthy, because it is therapeutic. So maybe we don't have that many hundred in my town or your town, but we can do it together online. Lessons to be learned. It's better to be comfortable and experienced with one form, even if you just do open and close, than it is to learn the mechanics of 108 forms. We can memorize forms. Any of us can just memorize and move this way and that way. But the practice is when you really start paying attention to what you're feeling in the movement, the balance, the weight separation, the slow movement, the breath. That is the depth of the practice, and that's the goal. Um, Class is mainly mechanics. For one thing, I won't shut up and let you do it quietly, so I'm constantly interrupting your flow. So that's why the 5 minutes a day in between is so important. Um, and if you get the mechanics wrong, but you honor all the guidelines I give you, including safety and balance, you're practicing your Tai Chi. I've had students that were so concerned about, should I turn my hand this way? Should I move my wrist that way? It's not that important to be that precise. It's not how far you move, how far you reach. It's just important that you move. So learning these correct form mechanics is just the first step. And like I say, if you don't get it, if you watch the same sequence on YouTube from 3 different practitioners, 3 different masters, each one will do it a little differently, because we're human, we're not robots. So don't worry about getting it perfect. But the more you practice, the bigger your reward. Isn't that cool? This is my opinion, but music always makes things better. I cannot imagine practicing my Tai Chi without soft, easy music, easy listening music. But sometimes nature sounds I think are great. Maybe you like the silence, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I personally think soft music really enhances my practice. So you choose, but give it some consideration. Maybe even sit and think, just what music do you find relaxing? Maybe you like listening to rivers flowing while you practice. Summary: Tai Chi is a slow, mindful movement practice. Even 5 minutes a day of practicing a single form will make a difference. If you take one form in each class, even open and close or waving hands in the clouds, and you just practice that for the next week, that is great practice. You don't have to practice everything you've seen in class to learn it. You can practice one at a time because you will build up that rote memory and stop thinking about the mechanics. Take time with this. Don't try to memorize it all overnight. Have water available in class. It's almost necessary. Um, Stay hydrated, especially for me, especially at the end of class, I am thirsty. It's important to wear comfortable clothes, preferably something loose. If you're using a chair, make sure it's non-rolling, um, or just enjoy your practice seated. Tai Chi is just as useful seated. So if you don't want to stand, you want to start seated or stay seated forever in your practice, do it. You can practice Tai Chi in a hospital bed. The most important aspect is come to class often. And isn't it great? Get Set Up makes these classes free, so you can come as often as your time makes it available. Please do. Consider that Tai Chi is a metaphor for life. In Tai Chi, just like in real life, we want to embrace challenges. We want to be balanced. We want to slow down, maintain focus, and we want to learn how to slow our breath. Maybe make them a little deeper, maybe over time, but definitely slow. These are aspects of Tai Chi that, when applied to life, gives more value to life. Thank you for coming today. Again, I'm Tai. I was your guide today. Thank you for joining me. Get Set Up is our host. And if you've had some experiences on Get Set Up that you care to share, please go on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and share your experiences, or email your experience to Liz, Liz at getsetup.io. I'm circling it with my cursor. It's right there on the screen. Liz at getsetup.io. Tell her about your experience and she'll blog it. We have a blog via the website, and she'll be glad to talk about your experience. Now, other classes related to this include Qigong. I mentioned earlier that is the basis for Tai Chi. When you study Qigong, you learn one exercise and you study, why is that exercise beneficial to me? Why is it therapeutic? And then you study another exercise. So it's more detailed into each exercise instead of creating the flow and the practice. They complement each other, but Tai Chi was built on top of Qigong. Maybe you've heard of Kung Fu or Bagua. They are built on top of Tai Chi, and they go into more martial arts. Probably seeing the TV show Kung Fu somewhere along the way in history. Well, that was built on top of Tai Chi. Excuse me. And slow flow yoga. Yoga is a series of exercises. Slow flow yoga is putting them into a slow flow, which Tai Chi is basically slow flow Qigong. Now, I have upcoming classes. And of course, I mentioned Tai Chi for beginners because that's where you need to go next. So start signing up for as many Tai Chi for beginners as you can get in. And if there's no classes available, email help and say, I need more Tai Chi for beginners classes, or I need more slots in the classes because I can't get in. Let your needs be known, and the powers that be will pay attention. Do give my Tai Chi Shibashi a try and see if that resonates with you. I have people who are taking both. They both have their benefits. They both have their different styles of being enjoyable. but definitely give it a try. I am now teaching Kundalini yoga, chair yoga, Kundalini style at Get Set Up. If you've never done yoga, if you've done yoga and thought, wow, I don't really want to do gym exercises, but I want to do yoga that's therapeutic to help me, come to my chair Kundalini yoga. It is a totally different style of yoga. And in this school of yoga, the yoga was developed to be therapeutic. Nothing, we don't do poses in Kundalini. You know how in Hatha yoga, sometimes you can either do the pose or you can't do the pose. In Kundalini, it's not like that. Everybody can do everything. You choose how long you want to do it, how many reps you want to do it, how fast you want to do it, how much you want to reach or twist into it. You get to create your form of each exercise in each class to suit your needs that day. That's why you can do Kundalini yoga if you're 10 years old or 110 years old. You can do Kundalini if you're in a hospital bed or a chair. You can do Kundalini anyway. It's just unbelievably versatile and perfect for seniors. So if you've given up on yoga, please come to the class. If you've never done yoga, please give it a try. If you love Hatha yoga, come give Kundalini a try too. You may love both of them. It's complementary. Starting in a week, I'm teaching a class called Sit and Get Fit. Now, this is a chair fitness class. It's for people who want to do exercises, but do them sitting in a chair. It will be constant movement. Of course, you can pause anytime you want to, and you should if you need to. But once we start, it will be constant movement, but it'll all be gentle movements for the entire time. But it will get somewhat aerobic. So give it a try. If it suits you, then please give me feedback that you want more of it. If it doesn't suit you, if you want another variation, maybe more gentle, just let me know after the class, in the feedback. In the class notes that I send you today, I'll give you a summary of what we were talking about today and the recommendation to come to my beginners class. There will be a button called Give Feedback. I'm running out of time quickly. So please click on the Give Feedback, and you can rate the session today 1 to 5 stars, rate your guide 1 to 5 stars. I really appreciate your 5 stars, but be honest and give a comment. What'd you think of it? Is it useful? Did I go too fast, too slow? Did I make sense? And anything else on Get Set Up that could be improved, enter it right here and click Done. Invite friends when you book classes. This is the mobile image. Please invite your friends. That's how we share the word, get the word around. Host an interest group. If there's an interest you have that isn't currently in an interest group, volunteer to host daffodils. I plant daffodils. Who else plants daffodils? Only thing you have to do is click to start the session and talk with people about that interest. If you're associated to an assisted care facility, a senior living, government, or community organization, please get their contact information and email help@getsetup.io. And of course, request the session recording if you want it by emailing help. Sorry for that rush, but I ran out of time. Thank you for coming today. I really hope to see some of you in Tai Chi for Beginners. I already seen some of you there. I know you guys. I have got a couple that come into every class, and I love you dearly. So with that being said, I flip my camera back there. With that being said, I'm going to tell you to go enjoy your Memorial Day. Thank you for sharing some of your Memorial Day with me, and I'll see you in class soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.